Our first lesson is from the prophet Jeremiah. Woe to the shepherds who destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture. Therefore, thus says the Eternal One, the God of Israel, concerning the shepherds who shepherd my people. It is you who have scattered my flock and have driven them away, and you have not attended to them. So I will attend to you for your evil doings. Then I myself will gather the remnant of my flock out of all the lands where I have driven them, and I will bring them back to their fold, and they shall be fruitful and multiply. I will raise up shepherds over them who will shepherd them, and they shall no longer fear or be dismayed, nor shall any be missing. The days are surely coming when I will raise up for David a righteous branch, and he shall reign as king and deal wisely, and shall execute justice and righteousness in the land. In his days Judah will be saved, and Israel will live in safety. And this is the name by which he will be called: the Lord is our righteousness. Hear what the Spirit is saying to God's people. Thanks be to God. Blessed are those who turn to God and turn away from idols and lies. God, we waited expectantly for you to hear our prayer. You drew near to us and rescued us from the pit of despair, from the muck of our suffering. You helped us to stand on solid ground and pointed our feet in a new direction. You placed a new song on our lips, a song of praise to our Redeemer. Many will witness this awesome transformation and put their trust in you. Blessed are those who turn to God and turn away from idols and lies. You, Eternal One, have worked wonders in our world and planned marvelous things for us. There is no comparison to you. If we spoke of all your accomplishments, we'd never reach the end of the list. You don't demand sacrifices and gifts from us in order to make you happy. Instead, your grace toward us makes us eager to hear and obey you. Blessed are those who turn to God and turn away from idols and lies. Just like the prophets of old, we gladly proclaim, "Here we are, God. We long to do your will. Your law of love is written deep in our hearts." We will announce the good news of your saving help to everyone who will listen. We won't hold anything back, nor hide the truth of who you are. Eternal God, you are faithful and just. You are our life preserver. We will proclaim this message both in the church and on the street. God of abundance, be compassionate toward us. May your loving kindness and trustworthiness sustain and protect us, now and forever. Blessed are those who turn to God and turn away from idols and lies. Our second lesson is from Ephesians. So remember that once you were Gentiles by physical descent, who were called uncircumcised by Jews, and who are physically circumcised. At that time you were without Christ. You were aliens rather than citizens of Israel, and strangers to the covenants of God's promise. In this world you had no hope and no God. But now, thanks to Christ Jesus, you who once were so far away have been brought near by the blood of Christ. Christ is our peace. He made both Jews and Gentiles into one group. With his body, he broke down the barrier of hatred that divided us. He canceled the detailed rules of the law so that he could create one new person out of two groups, making peace. He reconciled them both as one body to God by the cross, which ended the hostility to God. When he came, he announced the good news of peace to you who were far away from God, and to those who were near. We both have access to the Father through Christ by the one Spirit. So now you are no longer aliens and strangers. Rather, you are fellow citizens with God's people, and you belong to God's household. As God's household, you are built on the foundation of the apostles and the prophets, with Christ himself as the cornerstone. The whole building is joined together in him, and it grows up into a temple that is dedicated to the Lord. Christ is building you into a place where God lives through the Spirit. Hear what the Spirit is saying to God's people. Thanks be to God. The Holy Gospel according to Mark. The apostles gathered around Jesus and told him all that they had done and taught. He said to them, "Come away to a deserted place all by yourselves and rest a while." For many were coming and going, and they had no leisure even to eat. And they went away in the boat to a deserted place by themselves. Now many saw them going and recognized them, and they hurried there on foot from all the towns and arrived ahead of them. As Jesus went ashore, he saw the great crowd, and he had compassion for them, because they were like sheep without a shepherd, and he began to teach them many things. When they had crossed over, they came to the land at Gennesaret and moored the boat. When they got out of the boat, people at once recognized him and rushed about that whole region and began to bring the sick on mats to wherever they heard he was. And wherever he went, into villages or cities or farms, they laid the sick in the marketplaces and begged him that they might touch even the fringe of his cloak. And all who touched it were healed. The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, O Christ.